hand. So much to say about yesterday and the decades we have spanned. Postcards from the park, this journey will embark. See what has changed and what remains on Sent from Disneyland. Sent from Disneyland.
Welcome to the Sent from Disneyland podcast.
Here age relives fond memories of the past.
If it's your first time joining us, welcome. On this podcast, we'll take a journey into the past and explore Disneyland, Disneyland history, and more, with mementos, snapshots, souvenirs, and postcards sent from Disneyland, from 1955 to the present. Let's start by thanking my patrons from patreon.com. You can join in at any level to support the show and receive snail mail from my trips to Disneyland and from my desk, plus some sneak peeks and bonus content. Special thanks to Random Olive, the first patron to this podcast, and to the rest of the e-ticket patrons, Tania, Eric Daniels, Monica Seitz Vega, Scott Cagle, Russ Romano, Michael and Christina Cross, Angela Reynolds, and Sheila Harry. C-ticket patrons Serious Inquiries Only, Debbie Weinstein, Jennifer Schneep, Grace Coate, and Ben and Noel Bruning, B-ticket patron Joshua Bell, and to the A-ticket patrons Elise Sharp, Zealot Infinity, Alexis Robles, Angel DeBlock, Daps Magic, and the Beyond the Railroad podcast. I am your host, your post-host Clocky, and today we have 2 postcards sent from Disneyland. The front of our first postcard has a Main Street Railroad station with the E.P. Ripley pulling into the station with the large yellow freight cars behind it. Below is a floral Mickey Mouse, as well as some posters for the following attractions: America the Beautiful, the Jungle River, the Golden Horseshoe Review, Nature's Wonderland, the Submarine Voyage, and Tom Sawyer Island. In the upper right-hand corner, in pink lettering, reads, "Greetings from Disneyland." On the back it reads, "Guests entering the Magic Kingdom are greeted by a floral Mickey Mouse and the Santa Fe and Disneyland Depot, where a scaled-down model of a passenger train of another era puffs out of the station to take them on a scenic tour of Disneyland." It's postmarked November 2nd, 1964, with an Anaheim cancel, and a 4-cent Lincoln postage stamp, Scott number 1036. I assume they visit the park on Sunday, November 1st, 1964, when park hours were from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. The weather was a high of 71 and a low of 51. Park attendance that day was 11,148. It's addressed to Mr. Arthur Capps, Agency Department number 17, Mass Mutual Life Insurance Company of Springfield, Massachusetts. It reads, "Hi, this time we're really in California. Disneyland closing time was too soon for us. Ray and Priscilla." I chose postcards from 1964 so that we can look at the unique park map from 1964. Looking at the cover, it looks like all the other maps from the early 1960s, with Welcome from Disneyland written at the top, with Disneyland written in a stylized version of the Gothic Disney font, and with the same 5 images as the other 1960 through 1963 maps. Starting from the top with a knight in armor holding a striped jousting stick in front of part of Sleeping Beauty Castle, then a Native American chief with a long headdress next to a teepee, then a man tipping his hat and wearing a striped jacket and white pants, holding a cane somewhere with Main Street in the background. Next, a Jungle Cruise skipper wearing a star-patterned shirt in front of some jungle foliage and a parrot on his arm. Finally, a man in a spacesuit next to a flying saucer, the Moonliner, and a mountain with Saturn in the horizon. All the images follow a green swirl with black and white stars scattered throughout. Next to it reads, "All of us at Walt Disney's Magic Kingdom hope that your visit today will be a happy and memorable experience for you and your family. Your enjoyment of this and future visits is the consideration of all Disneylanders. For an introduction to the Magic Kingdom, we suggest that you take a few moments now to look over this folder. As you explore Disneyland, keep it handy for reference. The information it contains has been prepared to help you make your visit as pleasant an experience as possible. Have a happy day, the Disneyland staff." The only visual difference on the cover of this map is that it is green as opposed to the orange, pink, and blues of its predecessors. The back panel and flap are similar to the earlier maps, with a few exceptions. All have the information listed about baby stations, kennel land, first aid, postage stamps, and mail services on the back, but the light food and snacks, refreshments, and complete meals and specialty foods changed as the park was going through some changes and additions. This includes the removal of the Chicken Plantation restaurant, which was removed in 1964 to prepare for New Orleans Square. The only change to the interior flap was changing the heading from Special Shows and Exhibits to Make Your Visit More Enjoyable. Add some flair to your mail by checking out stamps at Enfield Post. You can explore different stamp options on our Etsy site, grab some great deals by following the EP Sunday Sales on Instagram, or create something special and have her design a stamp array for your invitation or celebration. You can head over to enfieldpost.com and explore all the different vintage postage stamps you can use on your next card or letter. That's ENFIELDPOST on Instagram and enfieldpost.com for your wedding and vintage postage needs. Enfield Post is the official postage stamp sponsor of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. The front of our next postcard has a Jungle Cruise riverboat going under Schweitzer Falls. On the back it reads, Schweitzer Falls Adventureland. An explorer's boat carries guests under beautiful Schweitzer Falls on the Jungle Cruise down the misty Amazon, the murky Mekong, the Belgian Congo, and through the swirling rapids of the Nile in Disneyland's Adventureland. Its postmark date is hard to read, with a Santa Ana cancel and a 4-cent Lincoln postage stamp, Scott number 1036. Let's assume they visit the park on Saturday, March 14, 1964, when park hours were from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. The weather was a high of 76 and a low of 42. Park attendance that day was 16,954. It's addressed to Irma Cover of Oskaloosa, Iowa. It reads, Saturday, p.m. Hello. Just back from Disneyland Park all day. It's about 8 p.m. now. Sure had a good time. Had dinner out there, going out and walk around and see the town. Have a full day planned tomorrow. Write more later. Love, Jane. The biggest change to this map from the other earlier 1960s maps is the map itself. This unique map removes all the details of the illustrations of the park. Instead, this guide gives a few simple illustrations for each land, all shaded in different greens and gray. Starting with Main Street, it includes the Main Street Railroad Station with the Mickey Mouse just inside the entrance. Moving to the left, there's a Jungle Cruise boat with a skipper firing a gun towards a charging hippo. Moving up, there's a simple drawing of the Mark Twain for Frontierland. Next, for Fantasyland, there's a drawing of the castle. In Tomorrowland, there's the Moonliner, and although it's listed in Fantasyland, a green-shaded Matterhorn mountain, matching the green color that colors the Tomorrowland section of the map. Also included in the Tomorrowland section of the map is a compass showing which direction is north. On previous maps, there were compasses, but no directional indications. This map also has a more intricate illustration of the Disneyland Hotel, with a track that leads from the Tomorrowland side of the map, with an illustration of the monorail next to the hotel. In the center of the map, at the hub of the park, is an illustration of 2 trees and a bush, with arrows pointing in the different directions of the lands of Disneyland. The large map also includes a green block larger than the other 1960s map that reads, Map of Disneyland, USA, with Disneyland written in black in the classic Gothic font. My incoming postcard is sponsored by the Art Throwdown. Art Throwdown, or ATD, is a craft hour on Instagram, starting at 9 p.m. Eastern or 6 Pacific. Art Throwdown is a wonderful community of artists who love to share their craft, from creating sticker postcards and coloring techniques to intricate paper cutting and unique crafting. It's always a treat to watch a show and occasionally get some one-of-a-kind postcards from the group. Each host brings something a little different to each show. I'll list some of the regular hosts, or you can follow Russ Romano 2021 on Instagram. The front of my incoming postcard has a yellow dragon swirled in the shape of an S. It's not postmarked, but was likely mailed around February 28, 2026, with a Bruce Lee Forever postage stamp, Scott number 6053. It reads, Hi Clocky, had fun at this meetup in Chinatown, April. Thank you so much for the postcard, April. This is another post-crossing meetup card. I mentioned on a previous postcard that I should look closely at the stamps, and this time I noticed a stamp I recognized. Capybara Crossing was at your meetup. I sent over some Disneyland postcards to her mailbox a few months ago and got a great postcard back that I mentioned on a previous episode. It's such a small postal world out there. Also, it's so great to have a meetup for a particular stamp release. This inspired me in 2 ways this week. Now I'm actively looking for a post-crossing meetup, and I jumped on Jim Lynch's Friday night Art Throwdown Zoom hang. It was sad to have missed you because you were busy and not attending, but it was nice to get a warm welcome and meet some ATD folks that I had not talked to in person before. I spent time organizing some unsent Disneyland postcards as I tried to reorganize my office and look for what I have versus what I need. I'll try to hop on more often, as it is a nice way to have some background noise and motivation on a Friday night. Thanks for listening to Sent from Disneyland. If you enjoyed this podcast, please subscribe and tell your friends. It would also help to leave a 5-star rating and comment on whatever podcast platform you use. If you'd like to support the show financially, please check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/sentfromdisneyland. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at Sent from Disneyland or my website, sentfromdisneyland.com. For questions and comments, send me a postcard addressed to Sent from Disneyland, P.O. Box 44, Hood, California, 95639. This podcast is not affiliated with Disney, the United States Postal Service, or any post office or Disney-related properties. Opinions expressed on this podcast belong to the host and guests of the Sent from Disneyland podcast. This podcast is produced and edited by Clocky McDowell, website designed by Misty McDowell, theme song was written and performed by Noah Sunday Lefkowitz. Take it away, Noah.